Something really strange has been happening with Tesla. Their car sales are down, but the stock? It's up. So in this explainer, we're going to break down why the old rules just don't seem to apply anymore and how Tesla is making this massive pivot from a car company to a full-blown AI powerhouse. So yeah, 2025 turned Tesla into a real head-scratcher. I mean, all the things you'd normally look at, car sales, earnings, they were heading down. But at the same time, the company's stock was actually climbing. It's a total paradox. So what in the world was going on? Well, this wasn't just some random market fluke. It was a huge signal that investors are betting on something entirely new. A future where the old playbook for valuing a car company, yeah, it's pretty much obsolete. Just look at this. A year ago, Wall Street was expecting Tesla to earn about $4.25 per share for 2025. Fast forward to the end of the year, and that estimate was slashed, all the way down to around $2. That is a massive, massive cut. And yet, despite those earnings estimates getting chopped in half and lower sales, the stock still managed to climb about 18%. Now, for a company that's supposed to be judged on how many cars it sells, that just makes absolutely no sense. So, the reason for this paradox? Well, it really came down to a giant divide between how the big Wall Street analysts saw things and how individual, everyday retail investors saw things. It's like they were looking at two completely different companies. And here's the breakdown. On one hand, you had the analysts, and they were laser-focused on the here and now, car delivery numbers. But on the other hand, you had retail investors who were looking a year, maybe 2 years ahead to the robotaxi transition and this huge pivot to an AI company. And guess what? Wall Street is finally catching up. They're starting to shift their focus away from just counting cars and are now looking at the AI future that, frankly, retail investors have been seeing all along. So, okay, if Wall Street is finally getting on board, what is it that they're seeing? Because the real story here isn't about 2025's car sales. No, it's all about the massive tech breakthroughs that are expected in 2026. This is what everyone is actually betting on. Okay, so analysts are now watching for a whole series of game-changing milestones in 2026. We're talking robotaxis driving around with no human safety monitors. We're talking the official launch of the Cybercab. And on top of that, major progress with the Optimus robot and huge new AI training centers coming online. And the scale of this is it's mind-boggling. Get this, the new Cybercab production line is being designed to roll a finished car off the line every 10 seconds. Just try to imagine that volume. It's incredible. And listen, the Cybercab isn't just another car. It is a complete game changer for the economics of this business. It's designed to cost half as much as a Model Y to build, but because it can operate 24/7 as a robotaxi, it could completely upend the entire transportation industry. And it's not just about passenger cars. The same AI technology is powering the Tesla Semi. And a lot of analysts believe autonomous trucking could be a trillion-dollar market all on its own. That's just as big as the entire robotaxi opportunity. So you've got robotaxis, the Cybercab, the Optimus robot, autonomous semi-trucks. When you put all these pieces together, it points to a completely new way of valuing Tesla, not as a car maker, but as a leader in real-world physical AI. And hey, you don't have to take my word for it. Top analyst Dan Ives from Wedbush is putting some huge numbers on this. He says, and I quote, "The autonomous chapter is now coming to Tesla, and that autonomy alone is worth $1 trillion to the Tesla story." And that thinking right there is exactly how he gets to his bull case price target of $800 a share. It has nothing to do with selling a few more cars. It's all about the incredible value of autonomy and robotics. And to give you a sense of just how advanced this stuff is, Nvidia's head of robotics said, Tesla's full self-driving software feels like it has passed a physical Turing test. What does that mean? It means it drives so much like a person, you literally can't tell if a human or an AI is behind the wheel. What's really remarkable, though, is how quickly the scope of this vision has just exploded. We're not talking about a decade of change here. This is a massive, fundamental shift that happened in the span of just one single year. I mean, think about it. At the start of 2025, the vision was pretty focused, autonomy and the Optimus robot. By the middle of the year, it grew to include massive new factories and advanced AI hardware. And by the end of the year, boom, the vision had exploded to include wild concepts like sky computers and enormous data centers. So what does a change that fast and that big really tell us? Well, it sends a really clear signal from inside Tesla. They believe the fundamental AI problem is solved. The AI works. And now the entire focus is shifting to massive, global deployment. It's time to scale. So the big takeaway here is that the metrics we use to judge Tesla have changed because the company itself has fundamentally changed. It's moved way beyond just cars. And that leaves us with a really provocative question to think about. Are we watching the blueprint for the next great industrial giant being drawn up right before our eyes?